Now, first week of the Alabama college football season in the books. After running around throughout the day, I'm rocking and rolling here with you from the home location. This is the hottest show in the streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own word, George truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have you in here on a Monday, Labor Day. We'll be back in studios, folks, taking your phone calls Wednesday and Friday. A lot of running around today. We'll be back in studios Wednesday and Friday, both days, taking your phone calls, getting you set for Bama versus South Florida. But today, doing this from the home location. Still, though, we want you in the comment section going crazy. We want you in the comment section, leaving your thoughts here. We're taking all comments here. Daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 right there. Also, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button also, as we're getting you the best in Alabama football news, notes, and coverage right here. Kalen DeBoer started his era of Alabama football as the head coach, 63-0. Zilch, nada, goose egg against Western Kentucky at Bryant-Denny Stadium over the weekend. And there were some things that we all, as Alabama football consumers, we liked from the game. There are some things that definitely need to be cleaned up as we get prepared for South Florida this weekend right here. We all remember the game last season in Tampa, Florida against the Bulls, that game where you had the worst ESPN camera angle of all time. You had the monsoon of rain. You had sloppy play from Alabama. And if not for having the likes of Ty Simpson enter the game to replace Tyler Buckner, that game could have went the other way very, very quickly. But this time around, you know who your starting quarterback is. It's Jalen Milroe. This time around, the game will be played in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Hopefully we have more weather. We have better weather this time as Alabama takes on South Florida. But right now, I'm going to start the show by getting off into the comment section. You know how we do it. We take your comments live on the show, your thoughts, your conversations right here. And we start things off with my guy, Jeremy Matthews. Roll Tide of the family. We got a lot to talk about. But as far as this past Saturday goes, I loved it. I hope you're in studio so I can call in. Save that call, Jeremy, for Wednesday and Friday. I'll be back Wednesday and Friday. Did a lot of moving around the day, so from the home location. But Wednesday and Friday, I will be back in the studio in the Birmingham area, and studio in Pelham. We'll be taking your phone calls Wednesday and Friday. Absolutely. Happy Labor Day to all of you. And Jeremy Matthews also came back with that $1.99. Let's go! In the Super Chats, showing his love on the show. Appreciate you, Jeremy Matthews, helping us out right there. David Williams, my man, Dave-O! David Williams writes in, Roll Tide! Roll Tide to you, David. Happy to have you in here. David also goes back with, Happy Labor Day, Tide family. Happy Labor Day to everybody. All you hard-working men and women out there. Happy Labor Day to everybody out there. My man, Little One 205, also known as Lakeith Williams, Little One 205. Roll Tide, pretty tough game this week. Well, some people see this as kind of a revenge game against South Florida, even though Alabama did not lose to South Florida. I say revenge game in a sense of playing better against South Florida, getting a more effective victory, if you will. You won last year. Alabama got the victory 17-3, but it was not in dominant fashion. Now you have a chance to get that victory in a more dominant fashion. Now, according to Circa Sports, one of the odds makers out there in Las Vegas, Alabama a 32-point favorite against the Bulls. Now, do they cover the spread? That's the big thing right there. Alabama double covered the spread against Western Kentucky. The spread on that game was 31. Of course, Alabama won 63-0. So Alabama doubled the cover of that spread. What will it do against South Florida? We shall see. We got here my man Twister. Twister, the Windwalker 28 with Roll Tide Forever. Appreciate you, Twister the Windwalker, helping us out on the show. GT18 writes in Roll Tide Roll Crimson Fam. We got Roll Tide Roll Crimson Fam coming from my man GT18. Josh Harris writes in, those freshman DBs looking good. Those young men were flying all over the field. That they were. Jalen Mbakwe, Zay Mincy, Xavier Brown, Red Morgan. Those young DBs were flying all over the field, making plays. Now, yes, even when you're flying around, you got to wrap up and make tackles and finishing those tackles, and those young DBs will do that. They'll get the gist of that most definitely, but I did like the confidence that the young defensive backs played with. They flied around the field. They made plays. They looked pretty strong out there, pretty good out there, pretty good out there. So the main thing for them is while you are flying around trying to hit somebody, wrap up, bring your arms, break down, finish the tackle clean. In dominant position, of course, but finish the tackle, finish the fundamental play clean is the main thing for the secondary. My man, Big Bill from New York, that $8 donation. Let's go. Dropping that in the super chats, helping us out here on the show. My man, Bill from New York, he also writes in, Roll Tide, Roll Friends. We'll be back in studios, folks, Wednesday and Friday to get your phone calls. I know you guys were chomping at the bit to call today. My apologies there. Just a lot of running and ripping around for me today. So I'm here from the home location. But Wednesday and Friday, I'm telling you, I will be in studio. We will be getting your phone calls on both of those days right there as we get you set for Bama versus South Florida. We got a little one, 205. 6 penalties. I counted 7. And that's another area that Bama's got to clean up. You can't have the penalties. The false starts, you can't have them. I understand the effort penalties where you're giving it your all, you're giving it so much effort, and the flag comes out. I get that. You can coach that out of those kids. But when you look at the just mental lapse penalties, the offsides, the false starts, the delay of games, the illegal block in the back, those are the ones that get your blood boiling because those can easily be avoided if you are mentally paying attention to what you're doing out there on the field. So got to cut down on those penalties. Another one, 205. You are correct. We got here, David Williams writes in, defense was on point. Keon is going to do just fine. Keon Saab is that dude. Keon Saab is that dude, okay? 2 picks to start the season off. Big ups to him. Transfer from Michigan. Defense was on point. Like I said, the only thing I saw, they were flying around the field. They were making plays. They just have to bring their arms, break down, wrap up, and make those tackles. That's all they got to do. As long as they break down, wrap up, and make those tackles, those guys should be just fine out there for your Crimson Tide. But that's from the defensive back perspective there. Jeremy Matthews writes in, shout out to those freshmen on offense, Ryan Williams and Daniel Hill, defense, Red Morgan, Jalen Mbakwe. Yeah, shout out to the freshmen. Ryan Williams, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, nothing short of explosive. That man was fantastic. Daniel Hill, rushing touchdown for him. Red Morgan played well. Jalen Mbakwe, the fact that he did not play much at all as a corner coming out of high school, for him to have the success that he had, big ups there to Mbakwe. Big Folks writes in, how about those defensive backs, Steve? I've been talking about them. The young DB stepped up. The young freshman defensive backs, they stepped up. They made plays out there. Josh Harris writes in, Keon Keeley and Quay Russo are going to be a problem. Quay had a big game. Want to see more from Keeley out there on the field. But Quay Russo, that dude, he a problem. 4 tackles, 1 for loss, quarterback hurry. His teammates call him a freak of nature. We saw him out there. 250 pounds, according to Deontay Lawson, runs 23 miles per hour. So imagine 23 miles per hour at 250 pounds coming dead at your skull. I don't want that. No thanks. No thank you. So Quay Russo, that dude there. My man Bill from New York, Jahad Campbell and my man Quindarius lit them up. You right, Big Bill. Jahad Campbell had a big game, 9 tackles. Campbell was everywhere. Q-Rob got the intensity, started with a sack that was huge on his part as well. Both of those two had great moments out there, strong moments. Defensively, those guys flying around the field, loved that. Bobby Sprinkle, writes in, Stephen M. Smith, what about the defense and offense? It was awesome, my friend. Defense and offense both played well. I mean, defense had some good moments. Defense flying around the field. Guys were making plays and just need a bit more crisp tackling in some spots, but guys were making plays defensively. Offensively, saw some good things. Milroe was efficient. Yes, I get it. He only threw 9 passes, but you got to understand, Alabama was not going to have its entire playbook opened up for Western Kentucky. Absolutely not. So for Milroe to throw 9 passes, completed 7, 3 of those were touchdowns, had 200 yards passing, 79 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns total. Milroe had a good day. Offensive line, with the exception of 1 bad snap from Parker Brailsford, he knew it. He knew it, y'all. He got on himself. He was mad at himself, ticked off at himself. He will make that right. He'll make that right. Rock Montgomery had a few snaps that were high as well. And the coaching staff will get on him about that. But I thought the offensive line, when it got into a rhythm, you saw the holes open. You saw the big runs. You saw the explosive plays. Alabama went over 300 yards rushing. So offensively, saw some good things, some things that need to be cleaned up as well. Defensively, you saw a lot of good, but some things to be cleaned up also. Mike Coleman writes in, Stephen, roll tide, man. Roll tide to you, Mike. Happy to have you in here. My man, Whitwell Sports, Title Town, they in the building. Roll tide to you, Title Town as well. Appreciate all of you for your help in helping us out right here. Deborah Franklin writes in, roll tide, game 1 in the books. It's in the books now. Game 1 down. Game 1's in the books right there. And game 2 coming up this weekend. But game 1, a great way to start the Kalen DeBoer era, getting him that 63-0 shutout victory. Jeremy Matthews writes in, but Cole Adams, wow. I did not know he had that speed on the punt return. Cole Adams is a world-class track athlete. People don't realize he ran 60 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters in high school in Oklahoma. Cole Adams is a real deal track athlete. And all that boy needed was a crease. If somebody would have gave Cole Adams a crease just one time, he would have been gone. He would have housed one of them. And I feel like Cole will house one this season. He will house one. GT18 writes in, I liked all the backups in as early as second quarter. Coaching staff doing a great job of keeping players fresh for this long season, building depth. I enjoyed that, GT. I enjoyed the rotation. Whether it was on offense, especially on defense, I love the rotation. Getting different guys in, keeping your starters fresh, but most importantly, getting your second wave, third wave, fourth wave, meaningful reps, depth. You're building that depth in a 12-team college football playoff and a long college football season. That was really good for Alabama. Whitwell Sports writes in, always love the Labor Day edition of In My Own Words. Appreciate you, Whitwell. Appreciate your Title Town. Had to get this here. Labor Day edition of In My Own Words from the home location. Once again, people, I will be back in studios Wednesday and Friday to take your phone calls. Definitely want all of your phone calls, all of that energy coming dead at me. So Wednesday, Friday, we'll be back in studios to take your phone calls. Roll Tide and Rise Up with the Roll Tide family. Appreciate your Roll Tide and Rise Up helping us out here on the show. All of you guys showing love right here I appreciate all of you guys writing in. Derek C. writes in, Roll Tide Stephen, a regular Bama fan, said Milroe didn't go through his progressions. I think he did. What do you think? I thought Milroe went through his progressions. Kadyn DeBoer talked about it. Okay, you go back to the first touchdown pass, or the second touchdown pass of the game. The one to Ryan Williams, the 84-yard bomb. Go back to that play. Ryan Williams was not the primary read on that play. The primary read on that play was Kendrick Law. Kane Long was covered up. Then Milroe works to his second read, Jeremy Bernard. That wasn't there. Then Milroe takes his eyes all the way to the right, sees Ryan Williams, has his man beat, and then put that ball up perfectly for Hollywood to run up under it, make the catch, and score. That was going through progressions. The second touchdown pass to Ryan Williams was going through progressions. Probably the only touchdown pass that was not a progression was the first one to Kendrick Law. He was going to go to Law the whole time, just waiting for Law to kind of clear out there as Milroe was buying time, extending the play. So Milroe went through reads, went through his progressions. He did that. He absolutely did that in this game. So I go back to a lot of people are upset because Milroe only attempted 9 passes, to which I say again, Alabama was not going to have its entire playbook open for Western Kentucky. No. And the fact that you only touched maybe 5% of your playbook, you were basically vanilla. The fact that you touched only 5% of your playbook, yet you still got 600 yards offensively and 63 points, it's a bang-up good job. And you only touched 5% of your playbook. Only 5%. We got Cody Heath writes in, Roll Tide, defense tore the house down. Defense played well. Defense had some good moments out there, and a lot of them. Let's see here. We got Miss Tammy Sprinkle, Roll Tide, Stephen M. Smith. Happy to see you in here. Miss Tammy, happy to see you in here. Absolutely. We got Roll Tide and Rise Up writes in. I attribute some of the penalties to last-minute changes that were made because of Proctor being injured. You know what? Roll Tide and Rise Up. That's a good point because everybody was expecting Kadyn Proctor. Kadyn had a freak injury, unfortunate injury that happened in pregame warmups with his left shoulder. Thankfully, there was no damage done to it, no surgery needed. He's okay. Kadyn DeBoer talked about it. This is something that can be managed and that will be managed. Kadyn Proctor is all right. So a lot of those penalties, I agree with you, Roll Tide and Rise Up. Some of these could be attributed to, Proctor having the freakish injury in pregame warmups, and you're having to kind of play it on the fly there. Deborah Franklin writes in, Ryan Williams did not disappoint. He is as good as advertised. Hollywood's good. Big time. Did not disappoint. 17-year-old, wise, mature beyond his years, went out on the field and did his thing. That dude is going to be special for years to come. Justin Summerlin writes in, Bama will be fine. We were so vanilla. As the season goes on, you will see how we will dominate. I love this new coaching staff. Justin, you pretty much basically said exactly what I said. Bama was not going to bring out the entire playbook against Western Kentucky. They were not. It was going to use about 5% of the playbook. So in 5% of the playbook, if you would have told me, Stephen, you're a head coach for Alabama. If you would have told me, Stephen, you're going to use 5% of your playbook against this team, only 5%, but you're still going to total 600 yards offensively and 63 points, man, you couldn't beat that with a stick. I would take that all game long. David Williams writes in, Ryan Hollywood Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. You can't beat that production. You can't beat that explosiveness. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns for Ryan Williams. Congrats to him. Big first game for him. Let's go back. I saw a very good comment. Let me see here. And this is from Josh Harris. Josh Harris writes in, first game jitters, folks. Don't condemn this team based on early season mistakes. They should get better and more disciplined. Josh, 100%. first game jitters. Okay? First game jitters. You expect some type of growing pains. If Alabama would have came out their game one, everything perfect, that would be kind of a concern. Why? Because then where's the room to grow? When you come out their first game perfect, where's the room to grow? There is none. You came out the first game perfect. So to have some growing pains, as small as they were, to have a couple of hiccups, I thought they did better than, they did better than what I thought. I thought there would be a bit more hiccups than what was shown on Saturday. So to be honest, Alabama did a whole lot better than what I thought. But it was good to see the team after an off season. It was good to see this edition of Alabama football under Kadyn DeBoer, people. I thought it was a good game. Thought he coached well. Thought they handled everything the best that they were able to do so. J-Dub writes in, what's up, Stephen M. Smith? Happy to see you here, J-Dub. Good to catch your show again, Roll Tide Roll. Appreciate you, J-Dub, helping us out here on the show. And all of you guys writing in, thank you guys. Thank you guys. We did see a rotation. Quay Russo's the man. Absolutely. GT18. All of you guys writing in. This is fantastic. Bama had a lot of people being able to sub in. All of you guys, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate all of you guys writing in today. Bob Rutherford in here. Absolutely. We got my man Alpha Dog writes in. You only going to throw 9 passes when you are scoring at will, basically. You're only going to throw 9 passes when you're scoring at will. You're only going to throw 9 passes. It's okay. It's okay. We got Jeremy Matthews. Sheridan and Womack didn't get into their bag just yet, but around Georgia, they are going to give a little bit of a surprise. Roll Tide, everyone. That's the game. The Georgia game, that's what you'll see Bama get into that bag and showcase that surprise factor. They were not going to do it against Western Kentucky, but against Georgia, you will see these folks get into that bag. We got people throwing up the link. All right. I got to throw mine up. There we go. We got people throwing up the link. Cedric Thompson. All right. Little one 205 with that link. All right. There we go. Bobby Sprinkle writes in, Stephen M., thank you for saying something about the playbook. Roll Tide, brother. I'm saying. They are not going to get into everything against Western Kentucky. And for those that felt like they should, you crazy? No. I'm not going to show my whole hand against Western Kentucky. No. I'm going to be as basic, as vanilla as possible, and I'm saving my good stuff. That's like you playing spades, right? And you throw all of your spades within the first couple of card plays. No. Like, I'm going to say, I'm going to pull these spades out at the end to get these books. Like, if you throwing all your spades out at the beginning, you ain't going to have no power at the end. See what I'm saying? You ain't going to have no type of power at the end. So, it's the same thing here. You're throwing out all of your stuff against Western Kentucky. Like, what are you going to have to surprise Georgia? What are you going to have to surprise the big competition here on your schedule? So that's all I got to say about that right there. But my man Big Bill from New York writes in, it will also help the playoff teams roll tide and rise up. Teams need more depth for the 12-team playoff. Yes. I've said this before. The healthiest team will win the national championship. The healthiest team will win the national championship. Good point, Bill. Samuel Crenshaw writes in, Roll Tide Roll. Greetings, everyone from Birmingham. Appreciate my man Samuel writing in. Happy to have you here on the show, and everybody for writing in. Get your thoughts in. Mike Coleman writes in, Stephen, what is USF known for? The women's sailing program. That's it. That's the only thing South Florida is known for. It's the women's sailing program. That is it. Period. Josh Harris writes in, really impressed with Ty Simpson. We should be in good hands when he ends up taking up the reins. Ty Simpson did have a rushing touchdown in the game. Definitely was able to get out there and get the rust knocked off. Definitely want to see a bit more of him in these matchups later on in the season as he shows even more command to this offense. What I didn't like, though, is when they put Dylan Larnagin in the game, they did not let him finish his drive. I understand the score was 63-0. You're not trying to run the scoreboard upright. You want to get in victory formation to end it. But come on, man. Let Dylan Larnagin finish that drive with a touchdown. The man that waited this long to get in the game, let Larnagin finish that drive. That's all I'm saying. Damon Davis writes in, hey, Steve, remember I predicted Bama 56-0? I was oh so close. We could have scored 70. Hey, Damon, you were right there, bro. You was right there. You removed one. You was right there, bro. You removed one touchdown, you would have had it. And Bama could have scored 70. You're absolutely correct there. But you called it, Damon. You called it. You called it right there on the head there. PJ Steins writes in, Russo a straight killer. Russo a freak now. He a freak of nature. Deontay Lawson talked about it. Keon Saab talked about it. Russo is a freak of nature, man. That dude, that dude different. That dude different. My man Randy from Dogs Cast. Hey there, Steven. Good to see you. Happy to see you here, Randy. Georgia coming down the pipeline in the next few weeks here, but we're keeping our focus here on South Florida. Let's see here. Roll Tide and Rise Up. I have to give congrats to Eli Holstein for getting the start for Pittsburgh. He looked pretty good. Big shout out there to Eli Holstein, though. Big shout out to Holstein, man. Getting his opportunity with the Pittsburgh Panthers. Very proud of it. Very, very proud of it. Let's see here. We got Tim_Ferris writes in, Russo is a Reuben Foster clone, which is scary for the rest of the SEC. Look now. Look now, Tim. He dangerous now. Russo dangerous. Let's see. Alan Jackson writes in, what is the status of Kadyn Proctor? I'll get into that more in the second topic, but he is okay. Nothing serious. Very manageable shoulder issue. No surgery needing to be done. No damage happened. Just a minor shoulder issue. He'll be fine. He will be okay. Mike Coleman writes in, Russo and James Smith going to be fun to watch. Hungry Hunters. Good to see Headhunters again. It was good to see Quay and James out there. The Montgomery guys. It was good to see both guys from Montgomery out there in the field, and I'll talk about them more later on here in the show. My man, the Godfather of the SEC, a.k.a. Wayland, with He Is Inside. Now, happy to see you're inside, my man, Wayland. He's also giving me a hello there. I appreciate you, Wayland. Appreciate you. Yes, Hattie Mae. Kadyn Proctor's day-to-day, week-to-week. Nothing serious. Nothing serious. He's okay. He's okay. Minor shoulder issue. No damage was done. No surgery needed. He is okay. So that's good. That's good. We got Sully 462 writes in, dang, I'm late to the party, stupid YouTube, and their broke notification bell, or so it seems. You know what? You're here, though, Sully. That's the point. You're here, though, and we're happy to have you here. We're happy to have you here. Absolutely. Let's see here. We got Clyde Chronicles writes in, Simpson looked average. Milroe super gifted. Nonsense. Simpson not even close to Milroe. I started to think there was something else when people keep talking about Simpson. Simpson has talent. It was just he's got to knock that rust off. He's not average, but he's got to knock the rust off, man. There was some moments where he had some throws where he would have loved to have had back. He did connect with Kobe Prentice on a couple of passes, but got to get himself more comfortable as well. Got to knock that rust off. Got to knock that rust off is Ty Simpson. And as he does that, which he does have speed, he does have athleticism, he does have throwing capability, just got to knock that rust off. And once again, this week in practice will be very, very good for him. But we're going to actually get into quickly the first topic here, folks, of the conversation on tonight's show, and the first topic here before we go to break is on just the takeaways, in my opinion, the takeaways from the Western Kentucky game. Number one, the Swarm defense, to me, real. It's real. With the exception of, guys missing a couple tackles here and there, I thought the defense played very well. I thought they were focused. I thought they were locked in, and it wasn't a lot of thinking going on, just going out there, flying around, making plays. And Keon Saab had 2 interceptions, which was big for him. More turnovers could have been created. That'll be taking place this week against South Florida. You did get a sack from Q Robinson. You did have some quarterback hurries in there. You had some pass breakups. James Smith had 2 or 3 of those. Even the young defensive back stepped up. Guys looked like they were not lost on the field. They were hitting the right hole, hitting the right gap. Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, Jihad Campbell flying around. Quay Russo played well. Just so many positive takeaways that you can take from the defense. And when you pitch a shutout, I don't care who you playing. When you pitch a shutout, that's a big deal. So, like what I saw from the Swarm defense. Number 2, Jalen Milroe was explosive and efficient. Yes, we would have loved to have seen more than 9 passes, but at the end of the day, 7 of 9 passes completed, 200 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes. The deep ball was there, hit on a couple of short to intermediate routes. We saw the ability for him to go through the progressions. He did show that. That was really good. 79 yards rushing, 2 more touchdowns. He is the only quarterback in Alabama football history with 3 games of 3 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs. No other quarterback has that but Jalen Milroe. So he stands alone in that category. Number 3 for me, Ryan Williams, good as advertised. Hollywood is the man. 2 catches, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 84-yard touchdown catch, 55-yard touchdown catch. Made the SEC Freshman of the Week. Big performance there for Ryan Williams, and I expect nothing more but special things from him. Number 4, the run game for me. When Alabama's offensive line got into a rhythm, they were able to run the football. Over 300 yards rushing. I think Wilkin Formby has locked up that spot there at right tackle. The big play runs came off his side. Whether it was the 85-yard touchdown from Justice Haynes, the 39-yard touchdown run, by Jam Miller, they both came off Wilkin Formby's end. So, offensive line was able to create some opportunities there, in the run game. And then, of course, last but not least, the big takeaway, the penalties and bad snaps there. Got to get those cleaned up. Got to get that rectified. Got to get that corrected. And Alabama will use this week in practice to get those issues corrected. But we're going to go to our first break here on the show. On Touch That Dial, we're just getting started. When we get back, we jump back into the call segment to get, not the call segment, but the chat segment to get your comments, your thoughts, your conversations. We'll be back right after this. But first, a word from our people at Alumni Hall. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. Yeah, baby. You know what time it is? Alumni Hall. Get your gear right there supporting your Crimson Tide. We're back into the action from the break. We get back to the comment section right here. Sully Ford 62 writes in, good to see a lot of young guys getting those game reps, and they were looking good out there. So it was good to see those young guys get those game reps, Sully. Absolutely. Roll Tide and Rise Up writes in, y'all see Saban and Miss Terry sitting in that box rep in Bama? I saw Saban and Miss Terry. I also saw Kristen Saban as well. Saban actually came to the press box and said, hey to all the reporters. I almost wanted to touch Nick Saban's forehead and go, Coach, you good? You saying hey to all of the reporters here in the press box. We just want to make sure you ain't getting sick of nothing now because, we just trying to make sure you all right. But Saban, Miss Terry, Kristen, they were all in that box. And how about Nick Saban getting some time in with his two former cornerbacks, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold? I thought that was cool as well. How about Terrion Arnold singing Dixieland Delight? Terrion's a legend, all right? Terrion Arnold, one half of lank. Terrion's a legend. That's a flat legend. Hattie May writes in, Jalen got tunnel vision this year, and he's growing that hair out. Let's go. He's growing the hair out. Definitely got tunnel vision, man. J Mill, he got to do some special things this year. Fat Mac 06, RTR family. J Mill roll 4 for Heisman. Ryan Williams for Bolitnikov. The O-line for Joe Moore Award. Running backs getting loose. Love it. So Fat Mac 06. He got all the awards coming out for Bama. Love that. Love that right there. We got GT18, Godfather, Roll Tide, shouting out Waylon. Hey, Ty has some wheels. Ty can run now. He got that rushing touchdown in the game over the weekend. Ty can run. Ty can move. He can move. Once again, this is a kid out of high school, Westview High School in Martin, Tennessee. This guy wasn't the former 5-star Gatorade Player of the Year for nothing. Guy can move. We got Glock U2 writes in, freshmen showed out. They did. Freshmen went out there, stepped up, made plays. Absolutely. We got Damon Davis writes in, Womack not happy with the defense. That's right. Don't get complacent. Coach Womack want more turnovers. That's what I like about Coach Womack. As good as the defense played, he said, I am not satisfied. We should have had more turnovers. We had more opportunities to take the ball away. We got to take the ball away more. We got to get our offense in short field more, and we got to score off these turnovers. So the expectation, the intensity, the fire, the passion that Kane Womack brings, you got to love that, man. Got to love that, man. And that's what Alabama fans, you have been missing on defense for a while. A competent coordinator that's tough, that's passionate, that's fiery, that demands excellence, that's in these folks' face. Gotta love that. Appreciate that from Coach Womack right there. Clyde Chronicles writes in, Milroe didn't have an interception. He did not. 3 touchdown passes, no picks for one Jalen Milroe. No picks there. Roll Tide and Rise Up. TJ Finley spoke prematurely, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And it hasn't been good for Finley. I mean, you are old for the barbecue against Alabama. You lost against Alabama when you were the quarterback at LSU in 2020. You lost against Bama 2 years at Auburn, 2021 and 2022. Then you lose against Alabama here. So it has not been good for TJ Finley in going up against Alabama. We got Damon Davis writes in, Dabo don't want portal guys. Look, Dabo better embrace his portal. That's all I got to say. Before he get ran completely out of Clemson. Them Tiger fans already getting frustrated with him. I mean, this is Cade Klubnik's second year in this offense, and he looked like prom night dumpster baby. Couldn't do anything out there. Defense looked decent, but that offense, I mean, my God. You Dabo Swinney, you better utilize this portal. That's what college football is now. Get with it or get lost. You love it or you hate it. The portal ain't going nowhere. You better either embrace this portal or you're going to get lost in mediocrity. You're going to get lost in being irrelevant unless you embrace this portal. Sunny 462 writes in, Philly has lost to Alabama with 3 different teams now, hasn't he? Yes, he lost against Alabama at LSU. He lost against Alabama at Auburn. And now he's lost against Alabama with Western Kentucky. Yes, 3 different teams. Damon Davis, TJ Finley, been in the league, seems like 10 years, only trying to get beat by Bama once again. Hey, look, TJ, I guess that NIL must be real good for him. That's all I can say. That NIL has to be real good for him. John writes in, what's the deal with Dabo? He's burying himself, not taking advantage of the portal. He being stuck in his ways, man. He being stubborn. That's what it is. Dabo is being stuck in his ways, and he's being stubborn, and he's not willing to adapt. And people kept saying, Nick Saban ain't going to adapt. Nick Saban embraced the portal. Nick Saban didn't like it, but Nick Saban embraced it. He went out there and got Jamison Williams. Went out there and got Jahmyr Gibbs. Went out there and got Jermaine Burton. Went out there and got, Henry To'o. Went out there and got Jalen Key. Went out there and got different players. Saban probably didn't like the portal, but he embraced that thing. He embraced that sucker. He embraced it. He went out there. If I got to get players out this portal, I'm going to get players out this portal. That's the thing for Dabo. He's got to embrace the portal. That is what college football is now. You either better get with it or get lost. Just saying. Get with it or get lost. That's all I'm saying. We got here. Oh, here we go. Rosetta Smith writes in, welcome back, Stephen Rowe, Todd Lang. Happy to have you in here. Happy to have you in here. Absolutely. Happy to have you in here. Let's see here. Here we go. Roll Tide and rise up. Stephen, he's no longer coach. He's a cool man outside of work. He's no longer, I know he's no longer a coach, Roll Tide and rise up. I got to get used to Saban's not coaching anymore. He's just being a civilian, just attending the game now. I got to get used to that. Saban's no longer a coach. He's just a civilian. Just like me. Got to get used to that. David Davis writes in, Damian Square, sideline reporter. Yes, he is. Damian Square, former national champion for Alabama, is a sideline reporter now. That's fantastic. Roll Tide and rise up. I'm liking that attitude from Womack. Right attitude. The right attitude, for real. The right attitude. Doing what he's supposed to do. Absolutely. Period. Mike Coleman writes in, Stephen, did it seem like Young wasn't involved in a lot of draws? Did I miss it? Looked like the younger players, Daniel Hill more. Is there a reason? Okay, Richard Young was out there. I wish he would have gotten more carries. I wish Richard Young would have gotten more opportunities, but they decided to rotate all the backs in there. So they got Kevin Riley in there. They got Daniel Hill in there. I wanted Richard Young to play more, Mike, and I think he'll play more this week, but they just wanted to get all of the running backs in there. Let's see here. Robert Mahan writes in, them Jersey boys, Jihad Campbell and Keon Saab balled out. Jefferson better tightened up. Jefferson better tightened up, though. Missed every tackle. I'm telling you, them Jersey boys showed up, man. Campbell, 9 tackles, flying everywhere. Saab, 2 picks, led the team. SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Hey, them Jersey boys showed up, and them Jersey boys showed out. You cannot overstate that. They showed up. They showed out. They did their thing right there. Appreciate all of you guys writing in. Absolutely. Let's see here. How was Devontae Smith at DB? Smith had a good game. Covered well. He had a good game. Covered well. Absolutely. He covered well. He had a good game out there. Of course, people are going to say, well, he didn't do anything flashy, but he played well. Brian Russell writes in, the Swarm D looks very fast. They were swarming now. Just got to break down consistently and make those tackles. Sometimes you get so caught up in swarming, you forget to finish the play. Just got to finish the play. Christian Hughes writes in, Roll Tide, Stephen M. Roll Tide to you, Christian. Happy to have you in here. Rosetta Smith, thank you, Stephen. Roll Tide, Lank for life. There you go. Appreciate that, Rosetta. Mike Coleman, thank you, Stephen. You the man. Hey, you guys are the people. I just have fun doing the job. You guys are the people. I just have fun doing this job right here. We're going to quickly get into topic 2 of the conversation, that being the update on Kadyn Proctor. Kadyn DeBoer, let's talk about it today. Kadyn had just a freak mishap of an injury that caught him off guard. Nobody expected that to happen. Proctor went through some of the pregame warm-up, and then he ends up going to the locker room with an injury to his left shoulder. According to a source I spoke with, very close source, very credible guy, it was a dislocated shoulder, nothing damaging, nothing that needs surgery on, just a dislocated shoulder. He was seen in a sling on Saturday, but he's okay. Very manageable situation, day to day, week to week. I wouldn't expect him to play against South Florida. If he's ready to go against Wisconsin, that's where I could see Proctor coming back against Wisconsin. Or if not that, then definitely the matchup against Georgia coming off the bye week. But the good news is, people, it's nothing damaging. That's one that you thank God about. It's nothing damaging. It's nothing bad. It's nothing significant. What I've gotten from a close source vetted with this team, a dislocated shoulder. He's okay. Was in the sling over the weekend at the game, but it's a manageable situation day by day, week by week. If I had to put my finger on it, I wouldn't expect him to go against South Florida, but against Wisconsin, if he's ready, if he's good to go, he'll be good to go against Wisconsin. Or if not, then you know what? He'll be good to go against Georgia following the bye week. But there it is right there. But folks, we're going to take another quick break here. When we come back, we're going to go to the comment. We're going to go to your comments again and then wrap things up for tonight's show. But right now, we got another word from our guys at Alumni Hall. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. You know what time it is, folks. You know what time it is, Alumni Hall. Get you that gear right there. Helping out our guys in Tuscaloosa, in Midtown Village. Those guys do a phenomenal job helping us out here. Touchdown Alabama magazine. But we get to a few more of your comments here before we get to the final topic here of conversation. Oh, man. Let's see here. We get some of these conversations right here. Just scroll this up here. Here we go. All right. We'll get Bobby Sprinkle. Bobby Sprinkle writes in, Stephen M. Smith, when Saab intercepted the two balls, when Saab intercepted the ball 2 times, my eyes had big hubcaps. That was amazing. Look, Bobby, those were 2 big turnovers right there for Keon Saab. Now, the second one, he should have scored on. and I kind of joked with him after the game, he should have scored off that second pick because he had a seam, he had a crease. I think he tripped up over his own shoe or something, but that second pick, Keon Saab should have scored. Like, he had it. He should have scored right there. Damon Davis writes in, I bet South Florida game will be different this year. Milroe with some get back because he was benched. That's correct. South Florida game will be different. Number one, it's going to be in Brian Denny. Number two, you know who your starting quarterback is. It's Jalen Milroe. And number three, South Florida's coach talking about Miami and Bama, they got to come play us. They got to come play South Florida. All right, then. We play you Saturday. Better be ready. You better be prepared. So that's Bama versus South Florida right there. Appreciate all of you guys writing in and getting your thoughts here on the show. We got my guy right here, Jason Haywood. Good news about Proctor. We're going to need him down the stretch. It was very, that was probably, Jason, that was the best news of the day. Hearing that it's nothing serious with Proctor. No surgery needed. No damage was done. No issue happened. Just a dislocated shoulder. Get him healed up. Get him rested up. You don't need him against South Florida. You don't. Now, if he's good to go for Wisconsin, run him back out there. But you don't. I wouldn't push him. I wouldn't push him for South Florida unless another freak incident happens. But if no freak incidents happen, I would not push him against South Florida. I would not push him. Mike G writes in, if Bama plays like they did Saturday, nobody's gonna beat them. It was high school football speed. It was high speed. Bring it, Kirby. All right, I'm gonna say this, Mike. The Georgia game is gonna be interesting when it gets here. But right now, since we're focusing on South Florida, but the game against Western Kentucky was a high-speed game. Bama was flying around everywhere. Got some things to work on. Got some things to clean up, but some good stuff there. Eugene Ingram writes in, Bama played a great game, but that 21-play, 9-minute drive by Western Kentucky is very alarming. That was something that was talked about. That 21-play drive where I think the Hilltoppers converted 2 or 3 times on third down, a couple of times on fourth down. Now, Bama did stand at the end and did not let them guys get in the end zone. Big props there. But you got to get off the field on third down. There's no way that should have been a 21-play drive. Bama's got to get off the field on third down. That's something that Womack and this coaching staff is going to be harping on where this defense is concerned. Get off the field on third down. I'm happy for the shutout, but you got to get off the field on third down. It's a big thing right there. Damon Davis writes in, hey, Steven, Wisconsin is a nail biter, feeling a little bit better now, but things can change quickly. I'll say this. Wisconsin's a good team. They're a good team. And that game in Madison is going to be an early road test for Alabama. It's going to be a good road test. Bama's got to be ready for it. It's going to be a road test here. But I'm happy, like you mentioned, Damon, the injury to Kadyn Proctor is not severe. That's why I'm happy. The injury is not severe. You definitely want to continue to build depth at your offensive tackle spots. But the fact that the injury is not severe, that's something that you can be happy about. Josh Harris writes in, Caleb, who? Saab had the same number of picks in one quarter as Downs had all year last season. That is correct, Josh. That is correct. Also, Keon Saab equaled the number of picks he had all of last year at Michigan. That being 2. So, Keon Saab, keep your eyes on it. My man DP! Doug Parker in here. Although Bama won 63-0, they didn't play to the standard. Bama still has a lot of the same issues we've seen for the last few seasons. I was not happy with the performance at all. Well, Don, you are in that same boat with Caden Womack. He wants to see more turnovers. He wants to see more dominant play, which I agree with that. You got to clean the penalties up. That has to be done. You gotta have proper snapping. That has to be done. All of these things, they have to be done for Alabama. And you got to play it at an elite level. Absolutely. You guys are laughing y'all tails off at Florida State getting beat. Is Florida State losing to BC right now? Please tell me Florida State losing to BC. Is Boston College beating Florida State right now? Oh my gosh, they are. And Booth O'Brien got BC up 14-0 over Florida State. If I'm Mike Norvell, just go home, bro. You getting whooped by Booth O'Brien? You is getting whooped by Booth O'Brien? 14-0? Mike Norvell, just go home, bro. Booth O'Brien is whooping you, dog. This is the same Booth O'Brien that had his hand on his chin all the time, trying to figure out what play he was going to call as the offensive coordinator with Bryce Young. And this Booth O'Brien is beating you, Florida State. Just go home, man. Just go home, man. Hey, and look, wow, that, man, getting beat by Bill O'Brien. Well, you figure out something new every day, folks. But we wind this thing down with the final topic of conversation, and that being the Montgomery products taken off under Kane Womack. Quay Russo and James Smith, the bullies from Carver High School in Montgomery, they are taken off. And we were waiting for this to happen. We knew it was in both of them to do it. We knew both of them had skill. We knew both of them had potential. But it was, at what point would we see both of them take off? And now under Kane Womack this season, we're seeing it. Quay, all throughout spring, all throughout fall camp, dominated. Quay gets the starting nod at Wolf linebacker, goes out there, he's all over the field. James Smith in the spring had some good moments, but some inconsistent moments. He's cleaned up the inconsistency. Dude had 3 pass breakups out there. Now we're starting to see Quay and James both take off. The Gump is starting to take off. And this is awesome. This is what you needed. You need to say, Quay and James both take off. And I'm real happy. I'm real happy about Quay and James both being able to get out there in the field, dominate there, and have success here. PJ Steins writes in, didn't play to the standard. What? 63-0. What's the standard? And so PJ Steins is responding to Don Parker. So the shutout's huge. You got the shutout. And that's a big deal. But I think Don Parker's referring to the penalties that happen, the bad snaps that happen. That's what Don's referring to. The penalties that happen, the bad snaps that happen, and the fact that you could have done even more out there. But I look at it like this. It's the first game of the season, right? You're going to have some growing pains. You're going to have, some nerves. You're going to have some jitters there. And you got to shake the rust off. And I think, Alabama was able to get out there, shake a little bit of that rust off, and work through those jitters that it may have had out there on the field. But anyway, big ups to Quay Russo, James Smith. Those guys were taking off. Montgomery guys. I remember when they came in that 2023 signing class, everybody was really pumped up about them. Now you have even more of a reason to be pumped up about them as they're taking off here. But as always, folks, you want the best in news, notes, information, material, coverage, entertainment on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. You're rocking Team Apple. Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio needs. We got you. iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. Like I said, I'll be back in the studio on Wednesday taking your phone calls here, talking all things Bama football. Tide Nation, remember to subscribe to touchdownalabama.com. Subscribe to touchdownalabama.com. Get you that subscription today to get you all of the insight that you need on your Crimson Tide. Appreciate all of you guys donating in, chatting in, commenting in, making this your spot here for all things Bama football. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.